Hi Aquarius, I hope that everybody's doing well. Before we get into this, I would like to set the intention for this to be a space where everyone allows themselves to feel seen and validated, and ultimately for this to be a safe space and a healing space in alignment with everyone's highest good. Alright, we're starting off with the Three of Swords here. It looks like you're letting go of something, working through something. For some of you, this is about, I'm hearing working through the heart chakra. Maybe you feel like some things have been blocking you, but it takes actually reflecting to be understanding this. For some of you, this can be old pain that you've been holding on to as well. It's like something that happened or certain things that happened that you're getting ready to release right now. Seeing you go very, very deeply within. When our heart chakra is blocked, you notice this showing up because when you're around other people, you may feel a lack of compassion. So this is something that we experience sometimes. Also, when the heart chakra is out of balance too, you may find yourself being, I don't want to say overly empathetic, but it's like getting lost within that, like getting lost within the pain. This can be yours, this can be other people's. So there's a sense of like needing to take a step back from that as well in order to not be consumed by it. So this means being able to witness what's going on emotionally and to be able to sit with it and ground within that rather than like pushing it away or denying it, being able to witness it and still continuing forward. Yeah, I'm seeing a big process you're going through right now. It looks like part of a spiritual ascension to me. I'm hearing remembering the teachings. And I'm looking at you popping out here. Yeah, it looks like something had been going on that had been tying you down, and there's a sense of getting out of this, moving on from this, breaking energetic ties. Maybe you're also figuring out too what it is that you've been involved with that you feel like has had you preoccupied and not allowed you to grow further out of those situations. Because with the Devil popping out at the last, as the last card in the spread that I'm looking at, the Devil is the distorted attempt to reach the light through the senses. And so there's a sense of really checking what it is that you've been involved with that maybe has been cutting corners in relation to your growth. And that can be anything that we do, that we indulge in, that like wants to find a sense of peace or nirvana or ascension, but it's the way that you go about doing it. And there may be a sense of changing form or changing a pattern or a habit, or maybe moving on from something that you feel in the moment may be satisfying but not in the long term. And it's something that you just feel stuck within or tied to. And there's a sense of breaking the pattern, breaking beyond this and growing further. This is also about not getting consumed and caught up in the 3D as well. It's about understanding the relativity of the 3D plane. So I'm seeing it be a pool, and it's like, do I want to reflect on it? Do I not want to reflect on it? Do I want to avoid it? Do I want to address it? When it comes to reflecting and seeing something. So what I'm getting here is that there could be something that's been coloring your perspective. So this is about understanding that the way that you are perceiving the world around you in relation to you is a mirror of your psychology space. So it's like this. If you look around you and you're like, everybody is this way, or there's none of this around me, it's all a reflection of what's going on internally. However, if you are assuming your self within a sense of spiritual awareness, what you are going to see around you, everything becomes spiritual to you. Or if you feel like your heart is full of love, what you see all around you is love. So it's like what you've been seeing around you is all a mirrored reflection being projected onto what is around you. So however you've been seeing your environment is ultimately a reflection of that psychology space. Is that making sense? So it's like if you're looking around you and all you see is disaster, it's because this is what we are focused on. From a psychological standpoint. So there's a sense of something happening here when it comes to the ways that we want to perceive ourselves, and maybe even the relationships that we have too, and the lens that we're going to be perceiving that through. Because there's also a sense here of, this may be for a small number of you, there's a sense here of going back and forth between whether or not you want to manifest a particular relationship into your life. For some of you, it can be, again, the lens that you're seeing your current relationships through, and how exactly it is that you're looking down upon them when you're reflecting on them. And there's also a sense of healing that I'm seeing that's happening too. This can be a current relationship, this can be a past relationship. Because I'm seeing some type of relationship experience that you had, and there's a sense of maybe changing even the way that you perceive this. Yeah, I'm looking at the Four of Wands and I'm looking at the Lovers here. It's like wanting to heal something within yourself in order to connect vulnerably to maybe even a partnership, but also not wanting it to get to the point of there being these attachments that you have to it as well. So it's like wanting a partnership for the right reasons and not because it's filling a space for you. And also making sure that, as I said before, with the Devil being the distorted attempt to reach the light through the senses, this is about not having a relationship because it's your way of trying to reach something that you feel like you don't have without the relationship. This is about being in a whole grounded space prior to entering into a relationship, so you're not using it as a crutch or a band-aid. Because the thing is that when we perceive relationships in that way, where it's like a missing piece or a person, anything like that, it can be an object, it can be a habit, what happens is that, like, as everything is fleeting in the 3D, when that thing disappears, we feel like we are without it and that we don't have it, but really it's what we've been projecting onto it that is truly in existence, and so it's already there within you. So this is about recognizing yourself and what you have, and understanding too that what it is that you want to see is reflected upon like things outside of yourself. I know we're like getting pretty deep in here, so just bear with me. But yeah, it's about recognizing that you have everything within you so that you're not displacing that onto things outside of yourself, and understanding the connectivity and how you are one with everything around you. And so if something goes away, you don't actually lose it. And if you don't have a certain relationship, you're not actually losing love. You're just losing whatever symbol it was that you had tied to what that love is. You understand where I'm going with this? So this is like really taking a deep look into this. Yeah. So I'm seeing something. It's like mastering the 3D over here with the Emperor and the Devil. And feeling like you're in the right place if you're going to be having certain dynamics. Understanding too that things take patience and working through as well. Because relationships are a yoga too. They're meant to be worked on, worked through. And there's a recognition as well that this takes discipline, mustering strength, and all of that. Because naturally, we're not normally taught that we are whole and complete without relationships or other things. And so this is about really rewiring yourself to understand that. This is about as well understanding the projection space too. If you've been projected upon, because when we're projected upon, yet you know your own truth, this is about you being able to stand within that truth and not be affected by the projections, and being able to assign that to the person that is projecting and understand that that's part of their psychology and it has nothing to do with you and your identity. And same goes for if you've been projecting onto somebody else too, because it goes both ways. It's about understanding what we assign to other people and what's actually going on there, and what is just a reflection of what we are projecting. For those of you that use crystals and stuff, you may find it especially helpful at this point in time to be, it doesn't have to be a crystal, using any type of object to ground. It can be going out, touching a tree, walking barefoot, anything that you feel has a grounding effect. Meditation, yoga. Pranic breathing. For some of you, it's art. You have something that you like to do with art. Some form of expression. I'm getting music. I'm also getting like using a medium. Like painting, coloring, drawing. I'm getting something about drawing out symbols. Maybe downloads that you get. Yeah, there's a sense here that I'm seeing of like coloring some form of perception that you had, and understanding how that's affecting you now. It's like the more you're looking within at maybe even like a past dynamic or multiple relationships that you had, maybe even a sense of acceptance that we're moving through. And it's like the more we're understanding, maybe even the point of these relationships, and coming to a place of acceptance rather than resistance or staying stuck in the identity of certain emotions, we're able to heal the heart chakra because we're clearing things. It's like, I'm hearing old news. It's like clearing things that have already happened that you want to move on from. But it takes you being the magician to do this. And when I say that, I mean this is about transmuting energy and making it what you want it to be, and knowing that you have all the power to actually do that, to color in your past experiences and to also move forward from them. And the more you're reflecting on this, the more that it's going to help you moving forward. It's going to help you with a sense of decisiveness as well as what I'm getting here. For some of you, there may be someone that you're reaching out to for extra assistance with this, meaning like something maybe even therapeutically related, or someone that you can confide in. This can be you having a conversation with yourself, going over things. Because I'm seeing that this is going to help you heal and stabilize something when it comes to your connection both with yourself and also with those around you, specifically those that you have significant relationships with. And I'm seeing a completion here. I'm seeing a lesson that we're learning. I'm seeing this specifically be tied to a particular person for some of you. For a number of you, this is very particularly about healing from a twin flame relationship. Not for everybody, just for some, because I know not everybody identifies with that, but it's like a significant relationship that you had that maybe you had gotten hurt within, and there's a sense of growing beyond this and letting that go. Because I'm seeing this as like another level that you're growing to. It's like something that needed to be completed after going through some sort of intense experience with someone. And this is really teaching you how to manage things within the 3D is what I'm getting, especially things that we feel like addicted to or very energetically connected with. And the more discipline that you are practicing, the more you're like asserting your independence and know-how, the more it's moving you away from the things. It's like this is a process of extrication. It's like pulling yourself out of something that you feel like binds you. Energetically speaking, that's very much what this feels like. But it's like moving on, definitely. It's definitely a heavy burden at times. Like it feels very heavy. It feels stressful. It feels overwhelming at times, but there's a sense of needing to move beyond this, truly. Otherwise, you're going to be, I'm hearing, stuck within the rhythm. It's like stuck within the cycle of this. So I'm looking at Virgo, I'm looking at Pluto, Capricorn, Mercury, Gemini, Aries, the Sun, and Saturn. And now we're off to starting something new. For some of you, once you work through this, there is a new relationship that you're going to be getting involved with if you want to. But for others of you, this may be a venture that you're going off on your own to explore. And it's like, because you've realized that you have certain gifts, there's something that you want to do with them now. Maybe in a more concrete sense. It's like maybe figuring out how exactly you want to do this. How you want to be exercising these gifts that you have. Curating skills. Also on the path of self-love here, I'm seeing too. Also a sense of getting connected more than you had been before. I'm seeing you taking a break from something that's just felt too busy for you. And for some of you, this really is about relationships. For others of you, this is about understanding what has been getting in the way of you connecting with yourself. Because there's like, because you're starting something on your own that has to do with like your innate gifts and abilities, because you're exploring something and it's tied in with like your power and your self-esteem, I'm seeing that you're kind of pulling back on things that cause any sort of dissonance for you. It's like wanting to make a move to integrate things into your life. And for some of you, this is also about pulling back from drama in your life. Pulling back from the drama in other people's lives. Like, even if people want to involve you in things, this is about stepping back out of those spaces and being like, I can't participate in this, or I'm not going to, or I don't want to. I don't want to be part of the drama. This is also about knowing, too, when you step into a place where you're feeling, I'm hearing competitive with your neighbor. This is about pulling back from those spaces, too, and comparing yourself with yourself rather than with those around you. Because there's like a sense of friction and tension, and I'm seeing this be socially connected here, but I'm seeing you pull back from it. It's like you need time to sort things out, to think about things. Especially because you could be feeling emotional waves and there's a sense of needing to step back out of those spaces in order to ground your energy. And falling off of the table is the Knight of Pentacles. So the Knight of Pentacles speaks about an opportunity and somebody coming through and offering you something. I'm seeing it be like this. It's like out of the chaos comes something more concrete. But until you work this out, you may not be able to see this. Yeah, what I'm getting is that you may have a hard time discriminating what it is that you're meant to be involved in, how involved do you want to be getting into things, and what you shouldn't be involved in, like according to you and yourself. And there's a sense of not really being able to decipher distinct what these things are until you have this time to ground for yourself and until you take a step back out of congested spaces. Out of spaces where there's a lot going on, a lot of emotions, a lot of action is also what I'm hearing. It's like maybe even drama. It's just stuff that until you step back out of it, you're not going to really be able to make anything. I'm hearing of the message that's meant to come through. So there's a sense of really needing to pull back in order to be able to perceive which opportunities are right for you. Because I'm seeing that once you do, something is going to become very obvious to you about what it is that you want to be involved in and what it is that you want to be pursuing. And I'm seeing for some of you specifically, there's someone that's going to be coming through. It's like, as you're doing your thing on your own path, there's going to be somebody coming through that is, I'm hearing of a balanced energy. This person would be emotionally grounded, and this is someone that wants to be involved with you. and have a balanced dynamic. This is someone where you wouldn't feel like there's an offset of power between the two of you. And it's like out of chaos comes resilience, is what I'm hearing. But there's a sense of you, again, needing to step back out of this in order to clarify the path that you're meant to be walking on. Because maybe at times there's a sense of feeling directionlessness, but it's not for lack of intuition, it's for lack of being connected with your intuition and a lack of, like, maybe even faith and intuition. So there's a sense of needing to get into, I'm hearing a clear, static-free channel in order to hear where your intuition is guiding you. In order to hear where your intuition is guiding you. It's like really needing that space, really needing that time. And it's going to help clarify whatever this emotional confusion is that you've been feeling. Because as I said before, it's like maybe because of all of the things that you've been feeling, and this may not just be your own emotions, this can be people that you're involved in that inadvertently you're affected then by their emotions because you're sucking up their energy, like absorbing their energy, okay? And so that may also be attributing to this sense of being like, I'm not really seeing where I'm going, or like I'm feeling all these different things. Where is all of this coming from? And there's a sense of needing to sit back and sort through this stuff. But until you disengage with certain things, like that fogginess is going to continue looming. And here we are. I'm seeing that there's a sense of being in a position where there are two paths that you can take, and you're working on figuring out which direction it is that you're going to be pursuing. You may also have different options as well, and like one isn't better than the other. It's just about personal preference and what you feel guided towards. And the more you're working too on the Seven of Swords energy, which is wanting to blindly jump into things, I'm seeing here, it's really going to help you. Because I'm also seeing something going on with an imbalance of the sacral energy too. This may not be for everyone. This can also be energies that you're inviting into your life too, or like people that end up coming into your life. Because remember, energies can always be reversed. It's like people that are coming through, like wanting something from you, like on a more physical basis. This is about like moving away from that and moving to something that's going to connect on all of the chakras rather than just one. And this reminds me of the Devil card again. It's like trying to reach the light through the distorted attempt to reach the light through the physical senses. And it's like moving beyond that. It's about understanding too, because I'm being guided to mention this, if someone is working within the sacral chakra, that is what they're going to be projecting onto you. So if someone isn't connected within the higher chakras, like how they're going to present themselves to you is by hitting on you and stuff like that. And then that's going to, like, when you encounter people, it's going to tell you immediately like what chakra they're working through. And like where they're coming from, where they're based out of. So it's really telling. And this is something that's going to give you further insight too. So it's like when you come into contact with someone, depending on how they present themselves to you, it's going to be giving you information that you need to see. And this is going to help you better discriminate who's around you and what their intentions are. And being able to, like, when someone speaks to you, being able to really hear them. Even beyond what's just coming out of their mouth. It's really being able to understand the intention space. And that's all about your throat chakra. But if someone hasn't even gotten up to that level, they're not even going to be aware that you can perceive these things. That's just going to, it's like above someone's head because they haven't gotten to that place yet. So all I'm seeing here is just the moon with the High Priestess. All about our intuition, all about understanding what's going on emotionally, what that means, what you want to do with that, and how you're perceiving things, how you're perceiving yourself, those around you, what you're connecting to. And the more, because I'm seeing like at the center of this spread, this is about you within your quiet, grounded time and what it is that you're connecting with and the wisdom that you're gaining from that. The wisdom that you're gaining from yourself, but what you're bringing to the forefront of your brain. So you're consciously understanding it. Because this is the thing about teachers and the thing about tarot and whatnot. It's like, I'm not here telling you anything you don't know. I'm just reminding you. Because I'm like a reflection of your higher self. We are all one here. And so anything that someone's teaching you, they're really just reminding you what you already know. And it's always like that. And that's also how we come to understand that there really isn't much of a difference between you and those around you. Because when you get back behind all of that, when you get back behind the 3D and the identity and the psychology and the personality and even the zodiacs, when you get behind all of that, when you get to an elevated plane, you understand how we are all connected, how we are all one. All right, my friends, we are going to leave it here. I would like to thank everybody for joining. Thank you for tuning in. I'm wishing everybody love and light and healing, and I hope to catch you guys next time.